Now we're finally ready to start our makeup. And I'm gonna start with my eyes. For this look, I'm using my old Tom Ford. They don't make it anymore, but this is a basic brown, light brown, dark brown. Hello, bug. There's a basic light brown, dark brown, bone, and kind of a plummy purple shade. They have new things that are out. You can just use your imagination here, but I like these colors because from my skin tone, there's a bug, because they work for my skin tone in terms of giving structure, and then this purple works with my green eyes. That's literally the only reason I chose it. So I'm gonna go in with the bone shade and apply it all over again. The only reason I'm doing this, normally I don't do this, but I really want the colors to pop. So as bright of a base as I can possibly get, that's what I'm here for. I'm next going in with the medium shade, and I'm starting in the socket. The socket is your actual eye socket, and on me it's higher. So I'm starting there because that's where I want the most color, but then I'm gonna blend down and into the lid. Every time you add a dark shade, it helps to get there by adding, like by building shades underneath. So that's why we started with this color, then we're going to this color, then we're going to this color. If we just went straight in with this color, it can tend to get muddy. It can be kind of jarring and shocking. So you want to build there, and it's going to give you a really gorgeous gradient. Next, I'm taking the NARS 23 brush. It's the same brush I just had, but it's smaller version, same colors, sweeping this under the eyes. This is Sigma E25 blending brush. It's a kind of like the MAC 217, but it's smaller and more compact. Going in with the darkest shade here, and I'm blending it into the outer corner along the bottom lash line and the lower lash line, kind of like this. So yeah, my journey as a makeup artist is that I started doing makeup for stage exclusively through doing ballet for so long. And then when I got into high school and kind of wanted to start wearing makeup on my own, I didn't exactly know what I was doing until I started doing pageants my junior year of high school, because it helped me pay for college. And sure enough, I was like, wow, I can really mix these two things and get really beautiful results. All right, so now we kind of have the main structure of the eye. Gonna go back in with just a clean blending brush. This is a NARS 42, and just sort of sweep around those. I'm not going all over. I'm just literally going on top of the products used, and barely outside of that to the edges. Next, I'm going to take this purpley shade and run that along the outside of the lid. When I'm doing, I like to pump up a look. I like to grab one of these, and I'm going to use this sort of coppery shade just on the center and pushing it out towards the inner corner. And tips for applying liner, everyone has such a hard time with it. Close your eyes and line the base of your lashes, the roots. It doesn't have to be perfect, just try to do as thin of a line as possible. Go back in with the brush. This is the Wingos 8, I can't recommend it enough. And this is a NARS Via Veneto, or a black eyeliner. And then go back in with your teeny tiny little brush and push it into the roots of your lashes. Then with your eyes open, look far away, like I have a mirror right here. I'm actually going to add a little more to this outside edge, but with my eyes open, because if you do it like this and you open it up, you can actually draw way too much. Now it's time to curl the lashes and add mascara. We're gonna start on the skin. I love to have just kind of a gorgeous glowing skin situation. So I use the Hollywood Flawless Filter in shade 4, a half a pump of the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in 5.75, and a half a pump of the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation in Y305. Mix on the back of the hand and then dot it on and apply with my hands. I don't apply with a brush. You can, and if I have like a client, I might. But for me, this is what I like to do to really massage the product into the skin. And as you can see, I'm sort of starting from the inside of my face and working outwards. This is a very sheer application, but I'm gonna go back in and clean everything up. I did a few extractions earlier. So I like to clean up again, get everything on, and then go back in and clean up. That was the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer in 31.5, and this is the setting brush from Real Techniques. And I'm putting it obviously over a couple blemishes, but also anywhere that I want to brighten up a little bit and add a smidge more coverage. I'm going to do a little contouring. Again, this is for me and my face and my features, so I'm not going to really talk about it much. It's a very personal thing, but I'm using the Fenty Matchsticks in the shade Amber, and I'm going to go in and highlight with the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand in Spotlight. It's the original one. This is really, really bright, and I really like it, but I like it to kind of come through instead of, I mean, can y'all see it is bright? I like to kind of come through my blush instead of being like right there on display, because it's, again, very, very bright. I'm going to do a very gentle set with some translucent powders, the RCMA No Color powder, and this is, I don't know, an Ulta bronzer brush. Okay, but I'm basically powdering where I'm going to put powder products next, like my bronzer, because I don't want it to pick up. I'm also going to powder like all of my forehead too, just because I want that to be super flat, but I don't want the powder brush of the bronzer to pick up any of the foundation or contour or highlight and mess with it. I'm going to take a moment to apply some brows. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in dark brown and a MAC 283 maybe brush, 63, I can't tell. It's just a teeny tiny little angled brush, and just filling in the sparse areas, and some Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel to set. So now's a good time to go back in and clean up any mascara bobbles. And I like to think about lashes here. So, and we want to make it a little fancy. Just really like to fill in the gaps, and I'm using a medium here. These are just Ardell's, and some Duo glue and my tweezers. I like to kind of fill in any places that just need a little extra love. And these are not true individual lashes. These are like individual sort of flares or clusters. Okay, so those are good. I'm just gonna let all of that dry. We're gonna keep working on with the makeup, and then we'll come back to this. Now it's time for bronzer and a little powder contouring. This is the Wayne Goss Radiance Boosting Face Palette, and it comes in a bronze and a contour shade, which is fantastic. 2-in-1 deal. What I like to do, first of all, is take the contour shade and contour. So I'm actually gonna go back in, now that my lashes are done and I can see where everything is, kind of go back in and bulk up what I used earlier. And you can see it doesn't add a ton of color, it just adds definition and makes the eyes have more structure, which is what we need when we are anything older than 20. Contour my nose quickly. And now to bronze. So I'm using the bronzing shade and where the sun would naturally hit you. As we get older and start to lose volume in our cheeks, you can use blush to pump it up. So I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Sex on Fire, what a great name for a blush, and a MAC 188 Duo Fiber Brush. And I blend that back into the bronzer. When I want sort of a more subtle look, I will do the blush first and then the bronzer on top, and they work really well together, but it just depends on what I want to bring out. And typically when I'm in like party mode, I want a little more blush. Concealer for under eyes, I'm going to use the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer in shade 5, and obviously I need it right here, I need a little bit right here, and I need it to pop out that nose contour. Now, I know there's a lot of stuff on the TikTok about concealer placement right now, like just put it here and here. Fine, if that's what works for you, cool. But if it doesn't work for you, which it doesn't work for me, then I highly suggest doing what works for you. And if you don't know what that is, Electra here to give you a makeup lesson. As I'm going back in, you can also use a damp beauty blender or, you know, damp sponge. This is the ELF cosmetic sponge. It's like $7 and it's amazing. But you can use this damp and get it back in, but that is going to take off some of your makeup. And I've been very intentional about what I've used and how many layers I've used and in what order I've used it. So I don't want to really take away any product. I want to push it into the skin and make it look really flawless. This is sort of my old standard. So MAC lip liner in Subculture. This is Charlotte Tilbury Bitch Perfect. Between Sex on Fire and Bitch Perfect, this is, I mean, you can see why this is my makeup look. Again, I like to come back and reline the outside to blend the lipstick line with the liner. NARS Turkish Delight. Kind of in the center. This is a very peachy nude lip. Setting spray. Now we have to do our finishes, which means come back in for a second look and do powder and everything. But I like to wait to do that until I've done my hair, so that my makeup has a chance to kind of settle in any grooves, and I can go back in and fix that. Any mascara needs to fall, whatever it is. So I'm noticing when I went back, the thing I like to do is look at my look in natural light. This brow was just like a little janky, especially compared to the other one. There we go. That's good. I need a little more bronzer just to kind of balance everything out. Sometimes after I put that last little bit of concealer on, it takes too much of the product away. So I wanted a little more warmth. And then finally I go in with my powders. So this is the shade number 1, I think, bright pink powder from Charlotte Tilbury. And this goes right in the center of my face, just to brighten up everything and set it. Again, like I was talking about before, when I put certain powders over certain creams, this is an example of that. So I want the brightening powder right here because I want to keep this nice and bright and flat, and it also sort of acts as a highlighter. Then going back in with the translucent powder just on the center of the forehead and on the nose. Little on the chin. And then I like to really push the product into the brush, knock off any excess, and go back through and buff. This just ensures everything comes together. Everything looks good. There's no weird, like, harsh edges. And I'm happy with everything, so I'm gonna go put on my dress and get ready to go for my birthday, Electra Lane birthday celebration. Thank you for being around for 7 years. And I'll hope you learned something. If you like this, share it with somebody, man. Tell somebody about Electra Lane. Share the love. And I will see y'all next time.